Frayser is a community in North Memphis, Tennessee, United States. History. Frayser is the western tip of a peninsula created by the Loosahachie and Wolf Rivers as they converge into the Mississippi River just north of downtown Memphis. Mud Island is the peninsula's southwest tip, because it is situated between the third and fourth of the Mississippi River's Chickasaw Bluffs. Early settlers called it the Point. In 1818 the territory bounded by the Ohio River on the north, the Tennessee River on the east, and the Mississippi River on the west was purchased from the Indians. Andrew Jackson represented U.S. government at the transaction, and the new territory became known as the Jackson Purchase and what is now western Tennessee in western Kentucky. Much of the land now known as Frayser was given to a Mr. Hendron for his services in the North Carolina State Militia during the Revolutionary War. In 1822, Anderson B. Carr, Dr. Frank Rice and J. C. Mulmore purchased 5,000 acres here. One of the earliest settlers was a Mr. Cousins, who came from southern England just prior to the Civil War. He established his home in the area and, using slave labor, had many beautiful terraces carved out of the face of the hill behind the old harvester plant. Mr. Cousins opened one of the first country stores in the area on the Randolph Road off N. 2nd Street. He also operated a cotton gin on the place. In 1858, Reverend Davidson, a circuit-riding Methodist minister, began a four-church circuit through North Shelby County. He legally described his Frayser stop as under the giant oak tree on Point Church Road, which then was a path through farmland with thousands of oak trees. Accounts of early services indicate lots of singing, shouting and praying in an interdenominational congregation. The old church cemetery located in the 3900 block of Overton Crossing has gravestones dated 1878. After several years of meetings outdoors, a small wood chapel was built, called the Point Chapel. It was located near what is now the southwest corner of the Southwest Tennessee Community College Gill Center. In 1869, tracks of the Paducah and Amp Memphis Railroad were laid from Memphis to Covington as part of the Chesapeake, Ohio and Amp Southwestern Railroad. In 1873 a reporter described his trip to Covington by rail. He told of wild-looking, heavily timbered country north of the Wolf River. He added, there were a few highly cultivated farms with tasteful improvements, but what was usually seen from the train were little clearings as in some wild western country. Not a single well-worked field of corn or cotton was seen on either side. The old C, O, and Amp S tracks, which now go through a deep ravine cut by the I.C.R. once climbed a hill at Gooseneck Bend, so steep that push engines were used to make the grade. Frayser Station Est. On September 19, 1877, a post office was established on the Paducah and Amp Memphis line. At the time the point was very sparsely populated with a combination of small farms and summer estates owned by rich Memphians. Dr. J.R. Frayser, a prominent old Memphis physician, was one of many wealthy Memphians who invested in property along the new railroad to the north and built a summer home to use as a haven when fever epidemics struck Memphis. His land was at the intersection of roads leading to Big Creek and Raleigh, across from the small railroad depot that became known as Frayser Station. The arrival of the railroad through the point brought immigration. An Italian vegetable farmer named D'Alosta settled on the point and began sponsored other farming immigrant families from his home in northern Italy. By 1900, Frayser Station had become a predominantly Italian community. In 1889, the CO and Amp S railroad line was purchased by the Illinois Central System. At the time the ICRR connected Chicago with Fulton, KY. The ICRR added lines going to New Orleans and changed its name to the IC Gulf R. For years the passenger train through Frayser was called the Fulton Accommodation. Frayser Station was not the depot on the point. A railroad stop 2 miles farther north was named for Squire Benfeld, a prominent resident who helped form the Point Church, and a third was located at Overton, on the south side of the Loosahachie River. Another community east of Frayser Station, above the Hindman Ferry, became a futuristic subdivision called Rugby Hills Estates. The area north of Rugby Hills was called Ardmore. With the automobile came the demise of passenger traffic on the railroad. The railroad depots were closed, and over the years the station part of the name was dropped. Today, the entire western tip of what was the Point is simply known as Frayser. Frayser developed in the mid-20th century as an industrial, working-class suburb due to its proximity to the industrial area of Memphis, including a large international harvester plant. On January 1, 1958, the city of Memphis annexed the community. Demographics. Frayser has long been home to the working-class Americans. However, as factories in the area began to close, the population of Frayser began to markedly dwindle in the 1970s and 1980s, and it stands at 51,068 today, with a large majority of its residents earning incomes below the poverty line, only 6% holding college degrees, and a continued lack of business and industrial investment. The neighborhood is now one of the most economically depressed and highest crime-rated areas of Memphis. Most of the population of the zip code 38,127, which has some rural areas and extends to Shelby Forest, is concentrated in Frayser. Population density. Frayser, 2,125 people per square mile. Memphis, 2,339 people per square mile. Read more. http www.citydata.com. Neighborhood. Frayser Memphis DN. HTML #49 Zomu median household income in 2013. Frayser, $32,019. Memphis. Read more. http www.citydata.com. Neighborhood. Frayser Memphis DN. HTML #49 ZTWTFVF. Zip codes. 38,127. Males, 19,475. Females. Median age. Males, this neighborhood, 30.3 years. Whole city, 31.6 years. Females, this neighborhood, 33.5 years. Whole city, 34.6 years. Average household size. Frayser, 2.9 people. Memphis, 2.5 people. Percentage of family households. Frayser, 57.8%. Memphis, 47.0%. Percentage of married couple families. Here, 25.2%. Memphis, 29.9%. Percentage of married couple families with children. Frayser, 8.5%. Memphis, 15.7%. Percentage of single mother households. Frayser, 28.6%. Memphis, 19.8%. Percentage of never married males 15 years old and over. Frayser, 22.4%. Memphis, 22.6%. Percentage of never married females 15 years old and over. Frayser, 29.8%. Memphis, 22.7%. Percentage of people that speak English not well or not at all. Frayser, 1.0%. Memphis, 2.6%. Percentage of people born in this state. Here, 79.9%. Memphis, 64.3%. Percentage of people born in another U.S. State: Frayser 18.0%, Memphis 28.6%, percentage of native residents but born outside the U.S. Here 0.8%, City 0.9%, percentage of foreign-born residents. Here 1.7%, Memphis 6.2%, Redmore. http www.citydata.com. Neighborhood: Frayser, Memphis. DN HTML #49ZTX58RV. Ethnicity statistics: Black 74.2%, White 23.9%, Hispanic 1.2%. Source: Demographics Now. U.S. Census 2000. Environment: the neighborhood faces environmental problems because of industrial waste runoff and contamination at and near the sites of now abandoned factories, which has made some land in Frayser virtually uninhabitable without cleanup. Notable residents: the community is home of multi-award-winning songwriter Gary Harrison. Among his many hit songs is Wrong Side of Memphis, a #1 record for Trisha Yearwood. It is an autobiographical song about leaving Frayser for Nashville. Greg Cartwright of the Memphis-based bands The Oblivions, The Compulsive Gamblers and his current group, Raining Sound, was born and raised in Frayser. Cartwright is considered a garage rock legend and continues to perform sold-out shows across the world and release highly acclaimed records. Hip-hop artists such as Academy Award-winning Frayser Boy, fellow Hypnotize Minds member Lil White, and Yo Gotti hail from the Frayser community. Dallas Cowboys free safety Ken Hamlin attended Frayser High School. Education: Frayser was a part of the Memphis Board of Education until the Board of Education submitted their charter to return under the auspices of the Shelby County School District, thus making Frayser and Memphis a part of the Shelby County School as the unified school district. On July 1, 2013, the district was rezoned to Shelby County Schools. With the state changes in the education process, the Achievement School District was created and a number of school agencies sprouted in the Frayser community, including charter schools and a Montessori school. In February 2012, the Achievement School District announced that it planned to take over management of Corning Elementary School, Frayser Elementary School, and Westside Middle School in Frayser.